Jessica Starling gripped the steering wheel of her aging Honda Civic as she navigated through the morning traffic of downtown Chicago. Her heart pounded against her ribs and she kept glancing at the clock on her dashboard. 8. She had exactly 15 minutes to find parking and make it to the 42nd floor of Sterling Industries for her first day as a temporary secretary. The agency had warned her that this position could become permanent if she impressed the right people. And heaven knew she needed the stability. Working double shifts at Rosie's Diner while picking up weekend catering gigs had been wearing her down to nothing. The Sterling Industries building loomed ahead, all glass and steel and intimidating perfection. Jessica turned into the underground parking garage, her hands clammy as she descended into the dimly lit structure. Level after level, every single space was occupied. Her anxiety climbed with each passing minute. 8:50. 8:52. She was going to be late on her first day, which was basically the same as handing in her resignation before she even started. Then, like a miracle, she spotted it. A perfect parking space on level 3, right near the elevators. Jessica exhaled with relief and flicked on her turn signal, carefully maneuvering her car toward the spot. But just as she was about to pull in, a sleek black Mercedes came out of nowhere from the opposite direction and slid smoothly into her space. Jessica sat frozen for a moment, unable to believe what had just happened. Then fury, hot and immediate, flooded through her. She had been signaling. She had clearly been about to park there. And this person had just swooped in and stolen her spot like some kind of parking pirate. Without thinking, she threw her car into park right there in the middle of the lane, blocking the Mercedes, and jumped out. The driver's door of the Mercedes opened, and a man stepped out. Jessica's anger faltered for just a second because he was stunning. Tall, easily, over 6 feet, with dark hair that looked professionally styled. Sharp cheekbones, and a jawline that could cut glass. He wore a charcoal suit that probably cost more than her entire month's rent, and everything about him screamed wealth and power. But then he looked at her with an expression of mild annoyance, as if she were nothing more than a minor inconvenience in his perfect day. And her anger came roaring back. "Excuse me," Jessica called out, marching toward him with her fists clenched at her sides. "That was my parking spot." The man turned fully toward her, one dark eyebrow rising in what looked like amusement. "I don't see your name on it," he said, his voice deep and smooth and maddeningly calm. "I had my turn signal on," Jessica said, pointing back at her car. "I was clearly about to park there. You saw me." "I saw an empty parking space," he replied, shutting his car door with a soft click. "And I took it." "That's generally how parking works." Jessica's mouth fell open. "Are you serious right now? That's the most selfish thing I've ever heard. Do you just go through life taking whatever you want without any consideration for other people?" Something flickered across his face, too quick for her to identify. "I'm in a hurry," he said. "I suggest you find another spot. There are plenty on the lower levels." "I've been circling for 10 minutes, Jessica shot back, her voice rising. "And I'm late for my first day at a new job. A job I desperately need." "But I guess that doesn't matter to someone like you, does it? Someone who probably has everything handed to him on a silver platter." The man studied her for a long moment, his dark eyes unreadable. Jessica noticed they were an unusual shade of brown, almost amber in the fluorescent lighting of the garage. "Someone like me," he repeated slowly. "And what exactly do you think you know about me?" "I know you drive a car that costs more than most people make in a year," Jessica said, gesturing at the Mercedes. "I know you wear suits that probably require dry cleaning that costs more than my grocery budget. And I know you think you're entitled to take whatever you want, whenever you want it, without any consequences." For a moment, she thought she saw something like hurt flash across his features. But it was gone so quickly she must have imagined it. When he spoke again, his voice was colder. "You should move your car. You're blocking traffic." Jessica looked around the empty garage level and let out a bitter laugh. "What traffic? There's no one else here except us." "Nevertheless," he said, already turning away from her, "you're in the way." The dismissal in his tone, the way he was already walking toward the elevators as if she didn't matter at all, made something snap inside Jessica. You know what? She called after him. I hope you're late to wherever you're going. I hope something important gets messed up because you couldn't be bothered to show basic human decency. And I hope someday someone treats you exactly the way you just treated me. He paused at the elevator bank and looked back at her over his shoulder. For just a second, she could have sworn she saw regret in his eyes. But then his expression hardened, and he pressed the call button. Good luck with your new job, he said. The elevator doors opened. He stepped inside, and he was gone. Jessica stood there for a moment, breathing hard, her whole body trembling with anger and frustration. Then she glanced at her phone. 8:58. She had 2 minutes. With a groan, she ran back to her car, moved it to a space 3 levels down, and sprinted for the elevators in her slightly tight pencil skirt